It says recording on my end, so let me know when you see it pop up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lunch and Learn. We have been having a little sabbatical since COVID-19 because Jamie Chapman's house is bananas right now. I have a lot of people in the background making noise. I am so excited to bring you our two guests today. Jay, can you give us a wave?
How you doing?
Hello. And Jordie.
Hey, everyone.
They are the founders of freelancevets.com, which I went out of my way during COVID and not recording these things to come and bring these folks on because I'm super excited about this platform. I always recommend to clients that I chat with, if they're between jobs, you always need to consider freelancing. And until now, there's never been a really good place to send them that's specifically for veterans and for military spouses. And these two have created a way for military spouses and veterans to have an exclusive platform to freelance online. And I'm not going to steal their spotlight. I would like for you both to introduce yourselves, give us a little bit of your background, and then we will talk all about freelancevets.com and how any interested parties can register, what the platform is all about, and what you see happening to it in the future. It's brand new, folks. It just came out within the past couple of weeks. So, Jay, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Jay Sheehan, President of Freelance Vets, 13-year Army veteran, and I'm serial entrepreneur, I guess, at this point. My background is in the staffing world. I had several staffing companies, 2 startups, both went national, and I partnered up with Jordie Kern, my partner here on Freelance Vets, and we're excited about the platform and the launch. And I'll let you introduce Jordie.
Hey, guys. I'm Jordie. Thank you, Jay. Jamie, thank you so much for having us on. We're thrilled to be here. Quickly, a little bit about me. I started a company called 7 Eagle Group about 5 years ago to help connect military veterans with employers all over the country, mostly for direct hire type roles. And about 8 months ago when I met Jay, we got to talking and wanted to solve the challenge of how do we get more veterans, more military spouses employed with companies. And what came to mind was, hey, we got to take part in this gig economy. And we came up with the platform of Freelance Vets. And it's just been an incredible ride so far, and we are just super excited. We just launched a couple weeks ago, and we can't wait to really blow this up.
Thank you so much for both introducing yourselves. I've known about this for a little while, and I kind of spilled the beans to folks when I'm talking to them on the phone and giving them advice about, I always think you should freelance if you're between jobs. And even if you are working full-time, it's great to side hustle and to earn a little bit of extra cash. So let's talk about if you are a veteran or if you are a military spouse. How do we find you online? What do you guys advise in terms of registering for an account? How would you say to be competitive when you're creating a profile and stand out to employers who are looking for freelancers?
Jordie, you want to take that?
Go ahead, Jay, you do it.
Okay, well, right now you can find us at freelancevets.com, and the platform is open for freelancers, which is for us very, very specific. It's either active duty military veterans or military spouses. And by that specificity, we're able to keep that group very, very tight and make sure that we are offering the same product across the board that we're offering to that community. By that, I mean, we want only this community on this platform. We're not allowing any civilians on. The only civilians that are allowed on it are the clients. And the client side will be opening probably in the next week or so. Right now, we're in what we call our phase 1 of our launch, where we're trying to register 1,000 freelance veterans. We're a little over 1/3 of the way there now, and that number keeps growing daily. And that's been pretty organic. You posted for us, and we got hit up a whole bunch that day. So thank you very much again, Jamie. And we have the Facebook page, the LinkedIn page, the standard social media platforms. What I would suggest, if anyone's looking to come on and register, just have all of your information ahead of time. One of the things that, any of us going through an interview process or filling out a profile on one of the other sites, we'll call them, job platforms or job boards, they're always asking for information. They want a copy of your resume. They want a copy of this, any certifications you have. Just have all that handy. One of the biggest things for us is being able to verify that you're connected to the military. So having that documentation with you will help you finish the profile quicker. The process probably takes front to back, maybe 10, 15 minutes at the most, depending on how in detailed you want to get on your profile. Again, this is your own sales page of who you are, what you're offering. So take the time, put some thought into it. Maybe write down the areas of interest that you really want to try to be out there in, and write a little blurb about yourself. It's your 30-second elevator pitch on why a client or a customer wants you. The other thing that we've enabled that is kind of unique in the industry is we allow you to take your cell phone and upload a 30-second video of you basically selling yourself. It could be a recap of your profile. It could be anything that is specific to the jobs that you're looking for. That, we feel, is going to give you a better chance of landing those freelance contracts. It gives you a name to the face and a face to the name, as from far as a client is concerned. So it's like the client is almost interviewing you without even having to talk to you right out of the gate. So they know who they're dealing with. It gives them a level of trust, and it'll help you out ultimately in securing those freelance gigs. I'm sure Jordie has a lot to talk about with this. He's been beating this up in his head for over a year now, and I can't say enough about this.
I have a question.
This man, so I'll let Jordie jump in.
Okay, we're having a little bit of feedback, and so I think I just interrupted you a little. But I had a question to clarify. You said that you wanted to take documentation to verify that we are military spouses, veterans, or active duty military. So can you just give us a little bit of information on what type of documentation that we need to supply? Is it our ID card, orders? What do you need?
Sure thing, Jaime. So what we've done is we've created the system similar to one of those popular chat platforms where the picture disappears after you've seen it. That was difficult on the programming side, but our programming department was able to figure it out for us. So we wanted to make sure that we could maintain security of these sensitive documents. On the veteran side, we're looking for either a copy of the DD-214, to support your experience in the military or your background in the military, or even a VA card at this point would be enough documentation for us to say, okay, this person's a veteran. On the military spouse, it gets a little bit different. A lot of spouses don't want to upload a copy of their ID card. Understood. We'll allow you to do that if you want, or there's two other methods. One, a copy of orders and a copy of marriage certificate, or you can upload the form 1172, I believe it is still, the DEERS form, because that will give us all the pertinent information to truly verify that you are who you say you are. We don't want to dilute and taint basically what we're trying to accomplish. All the other freelance gig sites out there, most of the clients are dealing with people from overseas, and they're not spouses, they're not veterans. There's a checkbox, a third page into their posting of their gig that says, hey, do you want to look at a veteran? And they have to click this little box on the third page at the very bottom next to this other thing. We're not doing that. We are specific to the community, period. But by being that way, we need to make sure that we keep the verification process tight. And that's why we created that process of once it's verified, it deletes off the server. So
that's good info. It's really important, when I'm thinking about uploading those documents, especially with a new platform, I want to be cognizant of where I'm putting that information. And you can scrub your data, if you have to upload orders or something like that, you can take and black that out, I'm assuming, before you submit it.
Exactly. We're looking really, we don't need your social security number or anything like that. We're really just looking for, okay, it's Jamie Chapman, and here's a copy of her order or her husband's orders and a copy of her marriage certificate. Bam, scrub out the data that's too sensitive. We don't need that. We just need to verify that you are who you say you are, period.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. I was going to ask, really, what was it that actually inspired you guys to create this platform? I'm already your number one hugest fan. And I'm just kind of curious what reason, what was the why behind establishing freelancevets.com? Because there are other big name competitors out there where we can go and freelance, but what made you want to do this specifically in the military community?
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, that's a great question, Jamie. The main driver behind Jay and I launching this, it was we want to move the needle in this veteran military spouse hiring market. We feel I got frustrated with our direct hire business. We're doing a lot of placements, but you sat down, you looked at it, and you're like, oh my God, is that all we placed in a year? I want to place that in a day, not in a year. And that was our main driver. We want to do good work. Our mission is to help military veterans, help the spouses who deserve our country's support just as much as the veterans do. They make a sacrifice to our country, and they deserve to work. And as you know, more than anyone, there are some extremely talented military spouses out there with advanced degrees, with tons of experience, who decided, hey, I'm going to put my life on hold, my professional life on hold to support my spouse. And maybe they're home taking care of the kids. Maybe they're living on a base overseas. And the timing is perfect for that audience to hook up with freelance work. It might be hard for somebody who's living on a base in Japan to get hired full time in Japan, but there are companies in the US who would love to have that person work for them. And that was our goal behind this. It's like, how do we really leave a mark on this and in a positive way, put thousands of people to work every day? And to give you a size, an idea of the market, there are about 12 million freelancers in the world who work from home. There are about 5 million companies who are actively hiring these folks. And all we want to do is just put any military vet, any spouse, give them the opportunity to work from home, enjoy that lifestyle that freelancers enjoy, and to do it in a meaningful way. That's our mission. That's what we want to do. And one last thing, and then I'll stop talking. I think what's going to come out of this whole COVID mess is, I think you're going to have a lot of people who are working at home right now, who go back to their bosses when things clear up and say, I really liked that. Would it be all right if I do a few days a week at home? And then the opposite's going to happen too. I think you're going to have a lot of companies who say, we don't need to hire full-time workers. We can get by with people working at home. It worked out just fine. And you're going to have I think this industry is going to grow dramatically in the next few years. You're going to see a huge number of people working from home because they enjoy that lifestyle.
Yeah, amen to that. So first of all, you're speaking my language, talking about moving the needle on veteran and military spouse unemployment. If there's anything that lights a fire under my butt, that's it. It just really slapped me in the face coming into this life. I had served in the Army for 6 years. And then my first year as a military spouse, I had no idea what I was getting into. And it was just, I was unemployed. I couldn't find a job. I was all over the place. It was crazy. And the sad part is that I was coming from a background where I was working in career and employment, and I should have, thrived a little bit more theoretically. I want to ask a question. I own a business. Let's say I want to hire a veteran or a military spouse. How would I, as a company, go about getting talent from your platform? Do I have to be a big company? Do I have to have a lot of jobs? Is a single job okay? If I want to hire this talent, maybe I'm thinking about testing the waters a little bit, coming in and, trying this platform out. What's the process look like for a company?
Okay, I'll take that one. So we kind of put the company through a vetting process as well. We want to make sure that it's a viable organization. It doesn't have to be a big one though, Jamie. I mean, it could be Sal's welding shop down the street, but we want to make sure that Sal's a viable business. We don't want these work from home scams or any of those other things, especially in this community of the veterans and military spouse. We don't have time, I don't feel, as a veteran or a military spouse, to waste our time. We really don't. We have other obligations as family members and as veterans and in this community. I don't want us to waste their time. So that being said, the client will fill out the first part of the client application, and then internally we have to vet that client and approve them before they can even post a job on the web. That's usually about a 24-hour process. Right now it'll be a lot quicker because we're definitely more heavily involved on this side right now with the programming and the beta testing. But from that point, they'll be able to, once they're approved, post the job. And then again, we have to vet and approve that job posting as well. We don't want any, for lack of better terms, unauthorized positions out there, so we want to make sure that the job itself that they're posting meets our criteria. And then once that happens, then they can fill out the whole job order application and start looking at freelancers.
That's good to know. And so it's not like I have to go through the ringer to try to find talent from you. It's literally a 24-hour process. What type of information do you need from a company to vet them and make sure that they're not scamming? Do you ask for financial information? What kind of stuff do you ask of companies?
Jordie, you want to take that?
Sure. So we will we'll get on the phone with the company, whoever placed the job. As Jay mentioned, we're very careful. We're going to be very careful about who we accept. No 100% commission deals, no MLM companies, none of that. And we'll spend a lot of time with the owner or the hiring manager, really learn about their business. We'll check their reviews on sites like Glassdoor, and we'll do whatever vetting we have to do to make sure that it is a legitimate operation.
Okay, that's a really good to know. I'm curious, and I'm sure our listeners will be as well. How does Freelance Vets fund this operation? Is the onus on the job seeker, the freelancer, or do you have a deal worked out in the background where the freelancers can come in, utilize the platform for free, and then it's maybe a deal between you guys and the companies that are hiring? Is there a price that the freelancer has to pay?
Sure. Well, when we went and actually did our research to try to figure out the best way to make this platform work, most of the other gig economy websites, the big ones, I'm not going to mention names, but they actually load all the cost into the freelancer side. They don't charge the client really anything unless they offer some sort of enterprise deal where they're posting hundreds of jobs, and then they offer them a little bit of billing at that point. So what we tried to do was we tried to be fair to both sides. We made it as transparent as possible. The client foots part of the bill, the freelancer foots part of the bill. All right. It's split right down the center. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It's just static. So therefore, we tried to make it that way so that it would be as transparent as possible. We're not hitting you with extra fees. Some of the other ones, they want you to pay an extra $20 a month just to connect with an employer. We're not doing that. It's free to create your profile. It's free for the client to create their profile and post jobs. The only time any kind of money transaction comes into play is when you get the assignment and you start working, and the reason that we have to charge is to be in the middle of that is all the costs that we created to get into this, but also because we're acting as that intermediary so that you as the freelancer can rest assured that you're going to get paid. We're acting as an escrow agent in between the two, so that once you complete your assignment for the week and you have your hours approved and whatever work or task you're working on approved, that money now goes into the escrow account and starts its way into yours, so that you can be sure that you're going to get paid. I'll tell you, as part of our research process, Jordie and I signed up on different platforms as clients or freelancers and tried to do our due diligence that way. And I'm still owed money on one of them. Why? Because they put all these little stipulations in place to the freelancer so that it makes it more difficult for the freelancer to do anything and actually make the money. You have to do these huge amounts of volumes that aren't really job specific in order to make a living. And we don't feel that that's the way that we should be treating our veterans or military spouses. So we tried to make it just very simple. It is what you see, and what you see is what you get. And it's real easy that way. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you. I I have been on them before, and you're sending messages and suddenly, oh, you can't send any more messages because you have to pay so many cents or something per message in order to access this feature. And it gets
exactly.
And they nickel and dime away at you, and it eats up your ability to even apply for jobs because you run out of your budget so quickly as the freelancer. And so it's kind of nice to know that you're not going to be charged anything to utilize the platform until you're actually receiving a position that will pay you. So that's good. I'm wondering, in terms of the types of jobs that are available on freelancevets.com, because sometimes you'll see these types of platforms and they'll be specific to an industry. Like, I can think of them, they make them for voiceover actors, and you can go in there as a paralegal, or, it's specific to a type of industry that you may work for. And then you can jump in there and do some work that way. What kinds of jobs or industries is Freelance Vets going to be having on the platform?
Our plan is to offer every type of job that freelancers want to do. And that clients want to pay for. It's, obviously the big categories are, there's tech, there's healthcare, there's admin, sales, engineering. I mean, everything under the sun that you could pretty much think of for any job. I think I read 80% of all jobs can be done remotely. So we'll have everything available to freelancers. And if we see that we're getting a lot of freelancers with a particular skill and we don't have clients in those areas, we'll be very aggressive at promoting those freelancers to new clients to get them into the system. But as I mentioned, there are 5 million companies already today hiring people to do work from home projects. And I've been a business owner for 30 years now, and I've used all of those freelance sites from the day they started, and I've hired hundreds of people. And I could tell you it is so frustrating to work with somebody. Most of the people on these sites are from overseas, and it can be really challenging with the communication and the culture gaps, and to get work done. And you want to use the freelancers, but sometimes it's more hassle than it's worth. And we feel with Freelance Vets, by offering some of the top talented professionals in the industry, the veterans, the military spouses who have, leadership quality, live by a code of honor. These are people you can trust, that we think clients are going to go nuts when they start seeing the quality of the work that we're going to deliver. And that's going to enable us to, I think, serve anybody who wants to work on this platform. We'll find the jobs for them if somebody wants to come on and join us.
That's awesome. When you are talking about the talent in freelancevets.com, how is it? Is this where the client goes through, looks at the folks that may have put in an application for their job opening, and the client themselves, the company that's hiring, selects their own applicants? Or is there ever a time when you come in as an intermediary and provide a certain, freelancer to that company?
Yes, actually, we will be offering client-specific packages where we will either give them access to some of our recruiters or assign them a direct contact recruiter, or even on the larger corporate enterprise levels, like some of the other websites, we'll offer them like almost an entire HR staff to help augment their HR and hiring functions. So from a client standpoint, it's free to register, free to post your jobs, and the rate is very, very competitive in the market. If they want to add on a few more packages, again, we tried to keep that below market level, because we want to keep the clients engaged with our community, and there's no reason to just gouge either side. So we wanted to keep it as transparent again and as simplistic as possible. So we tried to keep below market level on any kind of rates so that we could maybe attract more clients with better jobs to help this community.
That's awesome. Thank you. I definitely know that it seems, without having gone in there and tried to make a hire at this point, it seems like a really easy platform for both sides to use, which is beneficial. And it's nice not to get nickeled and dimed and be able to know upfront what everything is going to cost as both the freelancer and as the company. Is there anything else in terms of the functionality of the website for either the company hiring or for the freelancer that you guys wanted to discuss? I've tried to ask the questions I know to ask, but there's probably something that I haven't talked about or covered at this point.
I can tell you, I mean, because we're just getting into this right now, we're just launching. The only thing we ask is for people to be patient with us. We will, you know, this is an enormous project, putting together this platform and this development site where you have people talking to one another, the clients and the freelancers. So I'm sure we're going to have some hiccups along the way, but we have a full team of people who will address them right away. We are also going to be having weekly webinars with all the freelancers. They can jump on, because we want this to be a much bigger than just us. We want this to be the community to feel like they're a part of this too. And, you know, this is a mission that I'm just so excited about. I love getting up in the morning to work on this. And because I know we're going to one day very soon be able to wake up and say, wow, we have 500 people working today because of something that we put together. And it's just going to be so rewarding. And we want everyone to be a part of that. We want everyone to feel like they can have their voice heard. And if they need a feature that we don't have, we're very nimble and we could really adapt this to what the community is going to demand.
That's great. I know, like Jay said earlier, I posted something the other day on LinkedIn and said, hey, go sign up for this. And then on my comments section in LinkedIn, people were saying, hey, I tried to do this, that, and the other. And I just would tag him and say, hey, bud, look at this comment. But it's definitely, I know just from having a couple of websites under my own belt, as easy as those plug and play websites may be, building something that has to have all of this functionality is really tough in terms of the technicalities of it and behind the scenes. And so if you are coming in, just realize this literally just launched. It's a week, maybe a week or two old. I can't even remember when you guys launched. But realize it's new and be patient with everyone. And let's say I have a desire to jump on there, sign up, register, and I might have a problem. How do I contact you guys? Is there a chat feature? Is there an email? How do I get in touch with you and ask any questions I may have as a freelancer or as a company?
Yes, Jamie. So there is a chat feature built into the platform, and that's pretty much manned, I would say 16 to 18 hours a day by either Jordie or myself. You know, we're heavily involved in this. It's not off-site. It's not with anyone else. It's us. So that they can also reach out to support@freelancevets.com. It's right there on the website. It's built into the platform. They just have to click on it. And as you said, when you tagged me on it, I was back and forth with some of those applicants, you know, within the hour. You know, we live, eat, sleep, and breathe this. This is more than a passion project. This is exactly what we're trying to do, and we are heavily committed to making this work. So,
well, I'm heavily committed to making it work because I know how important this is. I know if you're new to the military community or maybe not a member of the military community at all, the unemployment issues that come with this environment are really severe. And, you know, unemployment for military spouses via the White House is 24%. Where I live overseas, I'm in Germany for the next 5 minutes anyway. The unemployment, there's no specific number, but the Army does these health assessment surveys every once in a while. And the last time they did it on my own installation, it was nearly 50% was the ranking on the unemployment question for the survey respondents. Same survey taken over in Vicenza, Italy, where there's SOFA status issues. That survey resulted in 70% nearly on the unemployment question. And so it's really raising a huge red flag for anyone in the employment industry. First of all, the unemployment is unacceptable. You know, the world's highest unemployment's really close to military spouse unemployment. I believe the highest unemployment is 28%, and that's in like the Palestinian territories and Lesotho, that South African country that's inside of South Africa. It could be higher. That was the last time I checked. This was maybe a few months ago, but it's just an unacceptable amount to think that in a world where we have access to remote work, to freelance work, where people work from home all the time, to think that military spouses are a quarter unemployed. And it's definitely something that I'm so proud of you guys for doing this. It's a labor of love, I'm sure. And I really hope to see you guys thriving in the future. I hope to see thousands of freelancers utilizing your website daily and you guys keeping the military economy going. Do you have anything else you want to bring in and say? I definitely will be dropping the link to Freelance Vets in the comments. You guys are welcome to share your social and everything like that as well. Is there any last final parting words of wisdoms you may have for any applicants through the platform, anything like that?
I'll say, well, first of all, again, just thank you so much, Jaime, for helping us spread the word and for everything you're doing as well for the community. We really appreciate that. I mean, we're all in this together. We can totally move the needle on this thing. We can achieve a lot of those goals you just mentioned. Jay and I will not stop until we do that. And there's no reason why you should have so many people unemployed in this community, none whatsoever. And we're going to really be a solution to that problem. You know, we're just so excited. We can't wait to see the results of what's going to happen from this. And again, thank you so much for letting us be a part of your show and for having us on today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Yes. Jay, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks again, Jaime. Since we've come in contact last year, it's been an awesome friendship, an awesome business relationship. And, you know, as I always blow you up, I'm proud of the work you're doing. Keep it up. And thank you for having us on. And really, we want Freelance Vets to be the showcase for our veteran and military spouse community to really let their skills shine. So that's my end. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you both, Jordie and Jay. You are some of my favorite people. I met Jay at the 2019 September Military Influencer Conference, and we've been pestering each other ever since. It really is a kindred spirit that we have here. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We are answering them. And I hope that you enjoyed this Lunch and Learn. We'll see you guys later.